The hotel had stood in the city center for more than 100 years. From the outside, it looked elegant, but inside there was always something unsettling, as if the walls remembered other people's fears. Room 428 officially did not exist. It wasn't listed on the website, the booking system, or even the floor map. That was the last time he was ever seen. No camera recorded him leaving. The next morning, a housekeeper unlocked the room. Alex's suitcase stood beside the bed, his clothes neatly folded, his phone placed carefully on the nightstand. The bed was untouched, the bathroom dry, the windows locked. It looked as if the guest had vanished into thin air. Police found no signs of struggle, blood, or forced entry. The cameras confirmed only one thing. He entered the room and never came out. A week later, room 428 appeared again. After Alex's disappearance, hotel management ordered room 428 to be erased from all systems. The door plate was removed, electronic keys were disabled, and staff were strictly forbidden to talk about it. Yet the security cameras kept capturing strange events. Late at night, the fourth-floor corridor lights would turn on by themselves, and on the screen, a door would appear. A reservation clearly listed room 417, but when she reached the floor, she stopped in front of room 428. The camera showed her frowning, checking her key, looking at the number on the door, and then stepping inside anyway. They noticed something chilling. The hallway clocks froze at exactly 3:17 a.m. After the second disappearance, hotel management could no longer hide the truth. Several employees quit in a single night without giving any explanation. One of them, a night security guard named Sergey, left behind a disturbing note. The room appears when the hotel is hungry. No one understood what he meant, but the cameras soon began to confirm his words. Before every new disappearance, the same malfunctions occurred. Elevators stopped on the fourth floor by themselves. Telephones rang in empty rooms, and at exactly 3:17 a.m., every security monitor glitched for 1 single second. After that moment, room 428 always returned. The next victim came 3 days later. He was a young blogger filming videos about abandoned and mysterious places. He deliberately requested a room on the fourth floor, hoping to capture something unusual. His camera recorded the impossible D-door to room 428 slowly forming on the wall, as if a shadow was turning into something solid. In the video, he nervously laughed and said, "This room doesn't exist, but it's here." The footage cut out when the door opened by itself. Later, police found his camera lying on the floor inside the room. The final frame showed a reflection in the mirror. Behind the blogger stood another figure. Faceless, shadowless. Once again, the hotel cameras showed the same thing. He entered, he never came out. After the blogger's disappearance, police demanded access to the hotel's old archives. Paper records were stored in the basement, locked away for decades. Among the yellowed files, they discovered a disturbing pattern. Room 428 appeared in the records every few years, then vanished again. Always just before a series of disappearances. The oldest report dated back to 1986. That year, a fire broke out on the 4th floor. 3 rooms were completely destroyed, yet the space between them remained untouched. Witnesses claimed the inside of that room felt cold, even while everything around it burned. After the fire, the room was labeled 428, even though, according to the building's layout, it should not have existed. Staff reports mentioned a strange sound coming from the room at night. Not screaming, not crying, just slow, steady breathing. Those who listened to it for too long began to experience the same dreams. They saw themselves standing in front of a door that opened from the inside. Within days, those employees either quit or disappeared. One document was stamped in red, "Do not enter." It stated that room 428 does not keep people. It preserves them. No one knew what that meant. But ever since, every time the room returned, it did so at the same exact time, 3:17 a.m. The police were close to closing the case when he appeared. A man named Mikhail walked into the station and said something that silenced the room. "I was in room 428, and I came out." His hands were shaking, his skin pale, dark circles under his eyes as if he hadn't slept in weeks. Mikhail explained that he had checked into the hotel 10 years earlier. He clearly remembered receiving the key, opening the door to room 428, and stepping inside. According to him, the room was bigger on the inside than it should have been. The walls were covered with mirrors, and a clock on the wall showed only one time, 3:17. It never moved. He could hear breathing behind him, yet no one appeared in the reflections. When he tried to leave, the door vanished. Only mirrors remained, and inside them he saw other people standing silently, staring straight at him. Every face looked terrified. None of them moved. Mikhail had no idea how long he was trapped inside. It felt like a few hours. In reality, 3 days had passed. The door reappeared as suddenly as it had vanished. When he ran into the hallway, room 428 was gone again, replaced by a solid wall. The hotel denied his stay. According to their system, he had never been there, but his final words were the most disturbing. "Every time I close my eyes, I'm still there, and they know I escaped." After Mikhail's testimony, police began noticing a disturbing pattern. Every missing guest shared one thing in common. They were all at a breaking point in their lives. Some were running from their past, some facing major decisions. Others simply wanted to disappear for one night. Room 428 seemed to sense that. Mikhail revealed one detail he had initially kept to himself. Just before the door appeared, he heard a whisper. The voice was soft but clear. "You are not finished yet." That was when he realized the room doesn't take everyone. It chooses those who are already broken. It keeps those who resist it sometimes releases. Psychological experts suggested the room amplified a person's inner fears, trapping them in a mental loop until the mind collapsed. But the security footage showed something far beyond psychology. In the mirrors of room 428, faces of people who had vanished decades earlier sometimes appeared. They did not age. They only watched. That same evening, the hotel lights cut out again at exactly 3:17 a.m. This time, the cameras captured something new. The door to room 428 was slightly open, a faint light glowing from inside. The corridor was empty, yet the recording clearly picked up a whisper, as if the room was unhappy that people were talking about it again. A journalist named Anna didn't believe in curses. Known for exposing hoaxes, she considered room 428 a case of mass hysteria. Using forged documents and old building layouts, she deliberately booked a room on the 4th floor and stayed alone. She turned on her recorder, her camera, and waited. At exactly 3:16, the corridor became unnaturally silent. At 3:17, the clock on her phone froze. The wall in front of her darkened, as if a shadow had settled on it, and from that shadow, the outline of a door slowly formed. The number 428 appeared as though carved from the inside. The door opened without a sound. Inside, Anna saw something no report had ever mentioned. The room was full of people. They stood motionless, like exhibits in a museum. Every face was frozen in a look of waiting. Mirrors reflected endless corridors, and the same faces repeating over and over. In the center of the room hung a clock locked at 3:17. Anna asked one question out loud. "What do you want?" The room answered in a whisper, from hundreds of mouths at once. A replacement. The recording cuts off with a sharp gasp. The camera falls. But Anna does not disappear immediately. Anna woke up on the floor of room 428. The camera was still recording. There were no doors or windows, only mirrors and people. They were no longer motionless. Their eyes slowly turned toward her, as if everyone was waiting for the same moment. The whisper returned, clearer now. One must stay. One may leave. Anna realized the room didn't simply take people. It demanded balance. Every past disappearance had been part of an unspoken deal. The room preserved the broken and released those who could bring someone new. Anna wasn't meant to be a victim, she was meant to be a carrier. The mirrors shifted. In the reflections, she saw the hotel corridor, police officers, security cameras, and Mikhail. He stood by the wall, covering his ears, as if hearing the breathing again. The room offered a choice. Bring one back, and you may go. Anna screamed that it was impossible. In response, the clock ticked loudly, for the first time ever. Then one of the figures stepped forward. His face was familiar. It was Alex, the first to vanish. He whispered, "I'm already here. Choose someone else." The camera captured Anna breaking down in tears, and the mirror behind her began to crack. The crack in the mirror spread, and with it came a rising noise, hundreds of voices merging into one. Anna understood that if she didn't choose now, the room would choose for her. The clock trembled, the hand trying to move from 3:17, as if time itself was resisting. Anna looked at Mikhail's reflection. He was alive. He had escaped. He knew the truth. The room whispered again. He is already bound. In that moment, Anna realized the horrifying truth. Everyone who ever left room 428 became an anchor. Through them, the room found new people. Anna did the only thing she could. She smashed the camera against the floor. The lens shattered. The recording cut out. The mirrors screamed, as if the room had lost its eyes. The people inside began to move chaotically, their faces warping as if masks were peeling away. A door appeared, solid, real. Anna ran toward it but stopped at the threshold. She turned back and said, "I won't bring you anyone else." The clock froze. The whisper turned into a furious inhale. As Anna stepped into the corridor, a heavy slam echoed behind her. The door had shut. Security footage shows Anna walking out of a blank wall. Her hands are empty, but in the reflection of the fourth-floor glass, a new shadow appears. And it stays. After Anna's escape, the hotel was immediately shut down. Management cited technical issues, while police set up round-the-clock surveillance. 3 days passed. Room 428 did not appear. The cameras functioned normally. Time no longer froze at 3:17. It felt like everything was over. On the fourth night, the guards heard a sound. Not an alarm, not footsteps. Slow breathing moving through the ventilation system. The cameras captured reality fading on the fourth floor, walls losing sharpness, edges blurring, and where there had been a blank wall, a door appeared again. But this time there was no number. The door opened. A month after the hotel's closure, strange events began in another city. A newly opened business hotel received its first complaints. Guests reported that GPS stopped working on one floor. One engineer noticed an inconsistency in the building layout. Between rooms 517 and 519, there was empty space. It wasn't on the blueprints. Yet the wall there was always cold. At 3:17 a.m., security cameras showed a door forming on it. No number, but the shape was unmistakable. Anna saw the footage on the news. She replayed it again and again until she noticed a reflection in the elevator glass. A female shadow. The same one. It was her. That same night, the new hotel welcomed its first guest, given a key, without a number. The camera recorded him stopping in front of the door, freezing in place, and whispering, "Why is it so cold here?" The door opened by itself. The cameras in the new hotel recorded everything without interruption. They captured the guest with the unnumbered key stepping inside the room. The door closed, but this time something was different. The clock hand did not freeze at 3:17. It moved forward. Inside the room, there were no mirrors, no people. Only empty space and a voice, no longer a whisper, but tired breathing. The room was no longer feeding on fear. It was feeding on memory. Every person who had ever entered left something behind, a choice, a pain, a wish to disappear. That was how the room was created. Anna stood in the corridor. Her reflection was clear. For the first time in years, she understood now. As long as people believed they could vanish without consequences, the room would exist. She stepped closer to the door and said aloud, "You are no longer needed." The door began to crack. Cameras recorded the walls sealing shut, the emptiness collapsing in on itself. The guest stepped back out. He remembered nothing. For him, only 1 minute had passed. Where the door had been, there was now an ordinary wall, no cold, no breathing. The clocks read 3:18. The final police report stated, room 428 was never a curse. It was a reflection, but sometimes, in old hotels, at exactly 3:17 a.m., the walls still listen.